Hey everyone, I'm the gay single dad who had a baby by himself. I want to thank everyone for being super kind, super sweet. I'm super happy.
Matt Bonnen had always dreamt of being a dad, but when his relationship of 4 years broke down, he didn't think it would be possible.
The relationship didn't work. Being gay, there's certain things that should be acceptable to the gay community because you're gay, like sleeping with other people while being in a monogamous relationship should be acceptable. To me, it was never acceptable. Feeling like I wasn't good enough, and there's a lot of pressure in being in a gay relationship that I just didn't want it to be a part of. I knew that in that relationship that I was super in love with him. We were engaged. I knew that I wasn't happy, and I decided, I was like, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, or stop my dreams, or stop my whatever I want to do in life because I'm waiting for somebody to be with me. It just doesn't make any sense to me that I have to wait for that special someone to have a family. I think that's not fair at all. Because what if it doesn't happen? Sometimes it just doesn't happen, and I'm okay. I've always been okay with not being in a relationship, but I will not be okay with not having a family.
Matt realized life was too short to wait and began taking steps into ways to become a parent.
I would love to adopt, but agencies that haven't adopted, they make it seem like they're just like, okay, we'll sign up and you'll get a kid. That's not how it works. It's years and years and years. And then also, I'm a single gay dad. They want a partnership. They want two people to take care of one child. That's how they want it. That's how they want it. That's typical, because of the, if there's who's going to watch them while they're working. That's kind of their idea. And I totally understand it. I wouldn't have a child. They wouldn't give me a child, even if that's the route I want to go with. So that's why surrogacy was the best option for me.
Matt decided that surrogacy was the best path to fulfilling his dream of fatherhood and began the process by selecting an egg donor.
You're kind of looking through pictures. First, all you see is pictures. Then you see details their family history, their eye color, their height, their weight, their education, any gene mutations they have that they carry, everything, family tree, race, everything. It's on it. So you kind of have an idea of what you want. It feels like Amazon or something. You're just clicking through the ones you want. You're like, I want that one, I want that. That's what it felt like to me. And all these women they're doing it because they want to. They're doing it at their free will, which I think is amazing. And I think it's beautiful that they would do something like that. For me, it was very easy because I didn't have to depend on anyone else. And it was just solely my decision, which was awesome. That's the one I want. It was very easy. She was my first choice. And you get 5 choices basically in that list. You pick 5 of them, and then you have to see who's available. Sometimes they won't be available. Maybe sometimes those women that you pick only want to do it one time and done. That's it. And then they're off the catalog. So we have to see about it. It's not updated immediately. Somebody might have picked them already. So I picked, my number 1 was my first pick, and no one picked her yet. The reason why I picked her is my family comes from a Colombian background. She looked like me, but she is Colombian, and I love the Latin culture. I love the South American culture. I think they're beautiful. I think that's just what my family looks like. We're all dark features with tanned skin, and I love that. My dad's pretty dark skin. My mom has fair skin, but at the same time, it's I just like the Spanish look. I want to keep the genes strong. I'm not thinking about getting a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that blonde hair, blue eyes are gorgeous, and it's very oh my God. But I'm not. That's not my family. And that's not typically how I thought about going with this. Was if I was a hetero person, if I was straight and I liked a girl, who would I think is the most attractive? That's what I thought when I was looking at the catalog. I was like, who is the most attractive, and who do I find the most attractive? And that's how I picked it. I didn't go based on who would make a cute baby with me, who would make such a supermodel. No, I was who would I find the most attractive? And she was the most attractive to me, and she was ready in 1 month. She's like, okay, I'm ready to. That's what I was here. They're like, oh, she's available right away if you want. I was like, yes, that's her. I love her. And that's Noah's biological mom.
Just like any pregnancy, surrogacy can come with its own set of challenges, as Matt was about to painfully discover.
So the first attempt that we did was did not did not work. It was super hard on me. I mentioned that before. It was very, very hard on me. And it was just because you get so excited, you tell your family, and everyone kind of knows that, okay, the baby is coming. It's not like a surprise. So we expect a pregnancy, you know, especially your first time, you're not aware. You feel like, oh, this is definitely going to take, I'm so excited. I'm telling everyone about it. And I was like, yeah, guess what? I'm so excited. Like, and then it didn't happen. And I was like, oh my God, like, that's so upsetting to me. She's like, oh yeah, it didn't take. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is the worst news ever. Like, I was super upset about what happened. And then the second time, it takes like it takes like almost 2 months to do it again, because you have to like prep her body, take her medication. And it's hard on her as well, the surrogate. Like, it's not easy medication to take. So it's not a fun process for her at all. And I know that. So I'm like, oh, it's just like, she's not going to want to do this again. You know what I mean? Like, I totally respect that. It's, you know, something that's very hard on the body. The second time, she called me after the transfer. You have to wait 2 weeks after the pregnancy test, and she took the test 2 weeks after. And she called me. She took it like the physical test, not the blood test. But she called me and she's like, "Yeah, I came back that I'm not pregnant. I'm so sorry." Like, and then she asked me, she's like, "Do you want me to do it a third time? Like, what do you want?" And I thought about it. I was like, maybe this isn't a match. You know what I mean? Maybe like sometimes a surrogate doesn't take the egg and it's fine. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'll think about it. Like, but I was like really upset because I was like, this is the one. Like, then she called me that Monday. I remember because she called me on Friday, and I was upset all weekend, just like, she called me that Monday. And she's like, guess what? I'm pregnant. Like, I just took the blood test and gave it to the doctor to confirm, but I am pregnant. Like, I'm actually pregnant. I was like, ah! I was like screaming, crying, and that's Noah, and he's here now.
Matt kept in touch with the surrogate throughout the pregnancy and was able to go to scans and see his son growing.
Yeah, so during the pregnancy, you have two choices, and they tell you this. Like, you can either be very hands-on, and you can be there at every, scan. You could be very involved with the surrogate, or you don't have to be at all. You can just kind of keep it high and by, and let's make this very what's the word I'm looking for? To make it very transactional. You can make this a very transactional experience. I didn't want that, so I want to feel as organic and thank you, and I want to be very appreciative about what was happening. You know what I mean? Like, she's giving me a child basically out of her body, and it's going to be on her. So I wanted to be involved as much as possible. So we would FaceTime like probably every scan, and then we would also text almost every single day. How are you doing? How's everything? And she was amazing at keeping me updated, sending me pictures of like the baby moving. When she started showing, she would show me pictures like every other day. Like, look at this, and the baby's moving, and oh my God, I'm feeling him. And she was amazing and keeping me involved. And then at times, if I was busy with work and I couldn't make a scan, she would FaceTime me during a scan so I could be involved. But sometimes I would fly to where she was, and I would go to the scans as well. So she had a difficult pregnancy. So after 29 weeks, Noah wanted to come out. He wanted to come out, like he was like ready to come out. I was like, stay in there, please. He wanted to come out, so it was constant in and out. She had to stay in the hospital for 3 weeks after 28 weeks because her cervix was shortening, and he was literally trying to come out. So they had to like put a cerclage, which covers, I guess, him to come out. During the birth, by the way, surrogates don't have to allow you to be in the delivery room. A lot of people that I know like waited outside and waited for the baby to be born, and then they come see the baby. That's typically how it's done. My surrogate was super amazing, and she allowed me to be in the delivery room. During the I was sitting there just kind of waiting, and then finally it was happening, and I was like, okay. I was just holding her hand throughout the whole thing, and it took her about like 10 minutes for him to push to come out. So that's pretty short for pregnancies. But during the last push, she mind you, I love my surrogate, but we have never been to the point of like, why? Like, we never. Like, it's always been like, how are you? Like, kiss on the cheek and like, keep it like, how are you? Like, very cute, very professional, I would say. But at the same time, we had a relationship. She hugged me and she was like, ah! and she like delivered the baby. She pushed and she like grabbed me in and like pushed the hardest she could. And that's when Noah came out. And I couldn't really necessarily see, but then I like started crying. I was like hysterical crying because it was such a beautiful moment. I kept saying like, thank you so much. Like, and I looked at him and I was like, oh, he's beautiful. Like, he's the perfect baby in the world. And I was holding Noah for like, I was with Noah for like 2-3 hours by myself in the room because like nobody could come in yet. Like no visitors, nothing. And I was like, what now? I was like, help me, Mom. Like, I was like, so like, even though like I wanted to be a parent, like nothing prepares you for that moment where you're just like, oh wow, this is real, like this is, but then instantly, like within that 3, I like needed that moment to be alone with him. I always say that, I'm like, I needed it. Like it was so important that I had no distractions, but I got to look at him and feel like this was my child and connect with him and be alone with him and see him, and he was just the cutest. I remember saying like, oh, I love you. I was like just crying and crying and crying and just loving him, and it was like just an amazing experience seeing that all unfold and happen in front of me.
Matt stayed in the hospital with Noah for 2 days before coming home and has been looking after him ever since.
It's been amazing. Like every day he does new things. Like every day. This morning I'm not joking, I think my child is very advanced, but he does new things every day. But this morning he basically rolled over, and that's a huge milestone. Like he hates tummy time, and he's like, wah! Like screaming, and I'm like, oh, you have to do it for a little bit, just please, just try. And he likes to be sat up, like he likes to be like this. He does not like tummy time. He gets like mad. He like rolled himself over. He's like, ah! And I was like, oh my God! Like it was the coolest thing in the world. Like that's just a huge milestone to see, your baby just grow up in front of you. And every day, I'm not even kidding. I'm like, you are getting so big. Like his personality is starting to show right now. Like he's so sensitive. He is so sensitive. Like even if I'm like, I can't, and I like cough, he's like he gets like he does not. I swear, like he's like if I'm like talking loudly on the phone, he's like if I'm like, I'm sorry, like I'm so sorry, and he's like starts smiling. He's just like is so sensitive. He's so soft. He's so like in tune with like my feelings. And now I'm like very careful of like how he's speaking loudly and how we speak around him. Like even though he might not understand, I'm like it's always like positivity because I'm like he's obviously very in tune with his like I feel that way. So I'm like, hey, everyone, positivity in this house. When you come in, it's like, oh, I love you. Like, we don't curse, we don't do any of that because I want him to know how loved he is and how I don't want him to be stressed ever. That's just my biggest thing. Like, I don't want him to feel stressed or anxious.
Does Matt have any regrets about having a child on his own? We'll let him answer that himself.
Yeah, so I actually hate this question because I've gotten this question personally before, and it took me out, like to the point where I was very upset about the question. I'm like, who asked that kind of question? Because would you ask a pregnant woman that, a woman that question? Never. You would never ask somebody that's in a relationship that question. But me being a single gay dad, their automatic assumption is, oh, like he must miss his party life, or he must miss his. This was a very intentional, thought out decision. I did not just think about this on a whim and it's like, no, this was thought out for a very, very long time. And I made my decision. I have time to think. And I made my decision, and it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And obviously there's no return policy on here. There's none, and it is what it is, and I don't even think of that. I'm like, I can't even imagine my life without him. He's part of me. No one tells you how connected you are to you. I mean, your parents tell you this, like how much they love you, but you don't believe it. But once you have your own, you realize how much you love your child. Like they are you. They're part of you. It's like I can't explain it. He's my life. Outfit of the day with my son. We're doing a matching look today. Boots. He's chilling right now. Look at him, how cute he is right now. He looks like a model. We got the matching Carhartt. The Carhartt's a little too big on him, but we're going upstate to visit his uncle. And this is our look today. What do you guys think? Seriously, tell me the truth.